Jan Cornejo Latinoamérica. Fish Report Live comienza ahora.
Coming to you live from Studio F in Russia, Ohio, it's the Fish Report Live Show with your hosts, Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Welcome, everyone, to another Fish Report Live, Season 3 of Fish Report Live. It is Wednesday night, September 4th. My name is Craig Fissinger. Of course, that's Ken Francis. Our old buddies TK and Heavy D are back in the sound room again this season. And, Ken, we took the summer off. Couldn't wait to get back, but we had a little fun this summer, too, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. It's hard to believe, Craig. It's season number 3 already. But we had a great summer. None better probably than the weekend that we spent in Columbus for the OHSA State and Track and Field Meet. That saw several local champions from the Shelby County League and from the MAC. But probably, Craig, none more important than that 4x8 relay team.
That's right. Never forget that one. Matter of fact, we got a picture of those gals hanging up on our wall.
Yes, we do. Lauren Heaton, Emily Borchers, Claire Sherman, and Lauren Francis. So it was quite a fun day over there in Columbus. And we spent some time in South Williamsport, Pennsylvania, too, didn't we?
Got a chance to meet that little guy we saw in the intro there. That's the shortstop for Latin America, I believe.
Yeah, it was. It was a fun weekend. As a matter of fact, the guys in the sound room, they went with us, too, and brought the boys along, and just a lot of fun. And my recommendation to any dads out there with little boys, you want a fun weekend, go over to South Williamsport, Pennsylvania for a weekend.
That's for sure. Well, Ken, let's get this season started. We're going to be talking a lot of fall sports here in the next several months, I guess. We won't hit them all tonight, but we're going to be talking some cross country, of course. We're going to be talking a little bit of volleyball tonight. We're even going to hit on some football. But before we get to all that, just like we've done the last 2 seasons, I want to get to that weekly trivia question. You know, last year I went on some hot streaks, went on some cold streaks, kind of hoping to get this season started off well. So I hope you got an easy one for me tonight.
I think it might be an easy one, Craig, but you're going to probably want a little bit of help from your Twitter friends. So,
okay.
Which of the following former Ohio cross-country stars is the only one to win 3 consecutive individual state cross-country meets?
3 consecutive.
3 consecutive state cross-country titles. Which one of these 4 is the only one to do it?
Okay.
We've got A, Sam Prakel from Versailles. B, Zach Wills from Mason. You remember these guys.
I remember those guys.
C, Tammy Berger, also from Versailles.
Okay.
And D, Sonny Olding from Minster.
Oh, wow. 4 good choices. 2 guys and 2 girls.
Yep, 2 guys, 2 girls. I thought I'd make it a little tough on you there.
Okay.
So you got Prakel, Wills, Berger, or Olding. Which one of those 4 won 3 consecutive state cross-country titles?
I'll have to give that a little thought, but I'm going to send that out on Twitter for any of the viewers out there watching us live right now, see if they can help me out. Viewers, you'll notice if you're on the Fish Report Live page, on the left side of the screen, there's now a Twitter box over there. I'll put that question up there on the Twitter box in just a minute. If you can send me an answer or reply to my tweets, that would help me out. I'll take a look at that as the show goes on, and I could sure use your help. But, Ken, let's get things started. We're going to talk some cross-country, start out, the cross-country season just started here 2-3 weeks ago, something like that, and we've seen a lot of good action so far.
Yeah, we have. Most of the teams got 2 or 3 meets in, and again, this area, Craig, just is probably the most dominant area in the state of Ohio once again, from the boys' side and the girls' side, and so a lot of D3 teams just looking very, very good right now.
Well, let's start out talking boys. I want to ask you, what are some of the local individuals, local teams that maybe we should watch out for this early season?
Well, I think early on right now, I think I like to look at Minster and Russia as probably the 2 best boys teams in the area. Both are very deep. So like anything can happen in cross country. Injuries are a big part of that sport. And when you've got a lot of depth, that just means an awful lot. The Anna boys are coming on. They're actually running pretty good. And a surprise to some people, Craig, but not a big surprise to me, is Botkins. I think Botkins has got a very good chance this year of doing very well. And, they're led by a couple of young runners who are doing off to a great start.
Yeah, Botkins, I think you're talking about Austin Jones and Cameron Floor, two very good runners. You mentioned Anna there. I want to mention one of the Anna runners, Adam Larger, who's been a good runner in the past. Adam had kind of a tough preview. He actually had a teammate that finished ahead of him, but he's been running a lot better here lately. Matter of fact, last weekend at Columbus Grove, he ran a 16:36, I believe, which, to my knowledge, he's the only Shelby County runner at this point to run in the 16s. And that's with guys like Austin Jones, who's been running real well, guys like Jordan Garrity, who run real well, Devin Jester from House, and another good runner. I'm sure all those guys will be in the 16s here eventually, but Adam's doing it early and looking good.
Yeah, Adam had a great race last Saturday. Take nothing away from Adam. Traditionally, that Columbus Grove course is exceptionally fast. But give him credit. He did it on an extremely hot, muggy morning, and he's a very good runner, and he's got a lot to look forward to this season.
Yeah, one other thing too about running in the 16s. I know if a team expects to win state based on last year's state competition, you got to have about at least 4, maybe 5 guys in the 16s. I know Seneca East did it. McDonald had some guys down there in those kind of times.
Oh yeah, you got to get 5 guys under 17, and preferably a guy in the extremely low 16s.
That's for sure. All right, Ken. Well, let's talk some girls now. Same question for you. Some of the local girls, individuals.
Test.
Yeah, you're good there.
Okay.
I think you're good. Local girls, local teams, and who should we watch out for on the girls' side?
Well, I think the dominant teams right now on the girls' side have got to be Russia, Minster, and Coldwater. These 3 girls teams right now probably could, excellent chance, Craig, finish 3 of the top 4 or 5 teams in the state of Ohio, all within 25 miles of here. So just great talent on all 3 of those teams, and I look forward to watching all 3 of them run this year.
Yeah, the guys are flashing some pictures of some of the Russia runners up there, and Russia's certainly one of the better teams in this area. Emily Borchers, we know what she can do. We've seen her do that before. Lauren Heaton as well. Molly Kearns has been running real well this year, stepping it up. A couple newcomers, too, that Russia's got that we didn't hear so much about last year that have been in the top 5, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got Shea Gubo this year. Emily Frazier's running very well. Claudia Monen's running very well. And, the Raiders are doing a lot of this without Lauren Heaton. She's only ran in 1 race so far this year, Craig. And, she was all Ohio last year. The Raiders, as a team, are off to a great start, and showing their depth without Lauren Heaton running has just been very impressive.
Yeah, the Russia team's also got the 2 Voizard girls that have been battling for those top 5, top 7 positions as well. So they'll be very strong, and they got a little depth this year. Mm-hmm. So, well, last Saturday, a lot of the local teams ran at Greenville. I had a chance to go over there with TK. We watched some of those races. And one thing I like about cross country, Kansas, it's kind of like golf. Every week it's a different course, and every week it's a little different. Some courses got hills, some courses are flat, some courses, you have a hot day like it was last week. Other times it's a little different than going to a gym where it's the same temperature all the time. So,
That's for sure. You never know what to expect. Some courses can be a little long, some a little short, some very flat, some very hilly. So it's a great sport.
Yeah, we had a chance to talk to some of the top runners, some of the girls that won the races last week, and ask them exactly what was their favorite course and exactly why. So let's take a look and see what they had to say.
I like Coldwater's course because it's our home course, and we train on that, and we know all the turns in it, and crowd out, like all of my Coldwater friends and everyone comes cheers me on whenever they can't sometimes come to the further meets away. So it makes it fun.
I actually have 2 favorite courses. My first favorite one is at Bob Scholl in Milton Union, and I really like that course because I love to run through the woods, and it's a really pretty fast course, and it's our first race of the year, so it's always like really exciting and just get out and see where the summer training got you. And then my other favorite course is the Alliance course because it's really fast and there's so much fan support on the course. Everyone's training you along the whole way.
I love West Milton because it's so much shade. The worst part is the loop, it's the Prairie Loop. But other than that, it's the best course.
Of all the courses you run this season, which is your favorite and why?
I think my favorite one is Fort Loramie because it
just the woods, and it's like it passes a lot easier because of the shade. The killers are the hills, but I feel like it's only a little part of the course.
Buck Creek's my favorite because, well, we train at the caverns, and every time we run that hill, I visualize myself passing girls at Buck Creek and finishing strong. And so by the time we get there, I'm so excited, and that's just my favorite place overall and to finish strong.
I'd probably have to say Coldwater's course, their home course. One, because it's like the fastest course, and it's one of the ones at the end, so you really got to push yourself. And to finally get into that max spot where we're at, see if we can get one of our placings there. So.
All right, Ken, a lot of fun talking to those girls. And special thanks to Brooke Pottis there from Versailles. She actually lost her voice the night before at the Versailles football game. She's a senior and was leading that student section at the Versailles game. And she went in there and helped us out anyway with that question. Two of those girls in that video, those first two girls, Sarah Kenny there from Coldwater and Mary Kate Vaughn from Oakwood, the defending Mary Kate's the defending D2 champion. Sarah's the defending D3 state champion. I know a lot of people in Ohio would like to see those two line it up toe-to-toe, wouldn't they?
Well, you know, Craig, that would be a great race. And hopefully maybe this weekend in Tiffin. Tiffin has so many races that the team's got options to choose from. So I'm not sure if they're going to go toe-to-toe this weekend in Tiffin or not. I've seen Sarah run for many years. I've known her for several years. And I tell you what, Craig, I've never seen anybody take control of a race from the gun like she does. She goes out right off the bat, lets everybody know that, hey, if you're going to win this race, you better come chase me. And the two did actually go toe-to-toe, Craig, in the 1,600-meter run at the state track meet this year. And Sarah did just that. She grabbed the lead early and made Mary Kate chase her, and she just couldn't track her down. So, but you're right. It would be a fantastic race, and one of these days, I'm sure they will square off. Yeah,
I've got a chance to watch Mary Kate now twice the last 2 weeks. A very good runner as well. I actually asked her if she was looking forward to maybe racing Sarah someday, and she said certainly. And she actually asked if Sarah would be running at Tiffin. Now, Tiffin wasn't on the Coldwater schedule if you go online and check it out, but I did talk to their AD today, Eric Goodwin. He said they are running at Tiffin. He thought they were probably running Division I, although he wasn't positive of that. So depending on what Oakwood does, depending on what Coldwater runs, yeah, they may or may not match up on Saturday.
Well, if they do, Craig, you know, it'll be one of the better races ever, probably at Tiffin. You know, I think the two would just really push each other, and you know, just two great runners, and you know, two of the best talents, if not in Ohio, across the country, right there.
All right. And before we close out our cross country talk, you weren't at Saturday's meet because you were actually down in Dayton watching a college race with some former local stars, weren't you?
Well, I was, Craig, and it was the first college race I'd ever been to, and I was fortunate to watch three young ladies that run for Ohio State that are local girls, Janelle Oberding, Jill Kenny from Coldwater, and Katie Borchers from Russia, and also Lauren Francis, who's running for Xavier. So it was just a lot of fun to see this Division I competition, and all four did great, and very proud of them, and it just shows the talent that is showcased throughout this area in Ohio.
Yeah, if I get a chance, I'm going to have to go and watch one of those college meets with some of those locals. Sounds like it'd be a lot of fun.
Pretty impressive.
All right, well, that's going to do it for the first half of our show. Going to do it for our cross-country talk tonight. When we come back, though, Ken, we're going to be talking some volleyball, including that big interview we had this week with Fort Loramie's Brooke Turner, Kelly Turner. So hang in there. We'll be right back.
My baby finally gave up on me. I can't say that I'll blame her. She just got tired of playing losing games. I should suck on my pride and beg that girl to come back home. Deep down I know she's better off, 'cause fools like me are meant to die alone. Someone give me one good reason, one good reason to smile.
All right, welcome back to the second half of Fish Report Live. Before the break, Ken, we were talking some cross country. We're going to talk a little volleyball. Before we do that, though, just want to remind the viewers out there that we have tonight's trivia question in the Twitter box there on the left-hand side of the screen. If you can help me out with that question, send your tweets in to me. I'll check them out by the end of the show, see if I can get that trivia question right. Well, Ken, like I said, we're going to talk some volleyball tonight, in particular the SCL. Let's take a look at those SCL standings as they are today, and why don't you run through those for our viewers?
Sure, Craig. As I look at these standings, I see a little bit of a surprise there with the Anna Rockets up top of the standings and Jackson Center both at 3-0. Fort Loramie, no surprise there at 2-0. All three of those teams undefeated, and obviously a lot's going to change here in the next week or so. Russia at 1-2, but a very talented team. And then you've got Botkins, Fairlawn, and Houston all looking for their first wins in league play coming up tomorrow night.
All right, well, I'm not an expert on volleyball. I don't know if you are. But I know a couple guys that are, the guys back in the sound room, TK and Heavy D. I want to go back there and pick their brains a little bit. TK, I'll start with you. I know you had a chance to go to Anna or watch the Anna game last night. You've been to Jackson Center. You've certainly watched the Raiders play all season. What are your thoughts on the quality of the league play right now?
Well, first, it's great to be back, Craig, and starting off another season. So, I did get to see a lot of volleyball so far this year. Looking at Anna, really not a surprise to me that they're 3-0. Always full of talent over there, even though when they lose a few seniors, they've always got plenty of girls to come and fill those spots up. I would have to say Jackson Center is a bit of a surprise. Last year they had a lot of struggles. This year, however, they've loaded up with quite a few underclassmen, including a freshman who's really good. Those girls have worked obviously a lot on their defense, and they did quite well against the Raiders and played some outstanding defense, forced the errors on the other side, and came away with quite a nice victory when we were over there. So, yeah, a little bit surprising, but a very, very talented team, and apparently a very well-coached team, and not too many fundamental mistakes on their side of the court the other night.
All right, Heavy D, let me ask you. I know the Raiders have a lot of weapons. One of those weapons is senior Camille Putoff. She was out of a basketball season last year because of an ACL tear. She's back this year. I want to ask you, how has she come back from this ACL tear? Is she 100%?
Yeah, I was there when Camille tore ACL, and I actually helped carry her off the court, so that was a pretty tough loss for the Raiders there going into basketball. She's looking 100% right now. She actually said that her repaired leg is stronger than her normal leg, so that's a good sign. She's jumping well, she's hitting well. She looks like the Camille from last volleyball season, so she's fit right back into where she left off in volleyball, and we look for big things from that senior.
All right, I'll take it back out to you, Ken. The Raiders, as we saw on that schedule there, have a big matchup tomorrow night with Fort Loramie. Whenever Russia plays Fort Loramie, whether it's volleyball, basketball, baseball, you name it, you know it's going to be a battle, don't you?
Absolutely, and I look for a great game tomorrow night. Fort Loramie's got a lot of talent, Craig. They got a lot of weapons, but I feel Russia does too. It's going to be a strategic battle between Coach Todd Wine from Russia, John Rogers of Fort Loramie, and I think it's going to come down to the team that makes the least amount of mistakes, and it's going to be a good battle.
One of those weapons is a junior for Fort Loramie by the name of Kelly Turner, and TK and I got a chance to go over there on Monday, talk to her, ask her a few questions like what she's enjoying about this season and that big matchup coming up tomorrow night. Let's check out and see what she had to say. Fish Report Live here at Fort Loramie Gymnasium with Redskins junior outside hitter Kelly Turner. And Kelly, your team's off to a nice start this season. You've been a big part of that success. I want to ask you, what are you enjoying about this season so far?
I'm enjoying a lot of different things. One of the main things I'm enjoying is the chemistry we have on the court and off the court. It makes the game a lot easier to play when your team gets along, and we just do so much together, and it's a lot of fun out there.
Now, last year you guys had a lot of success. You won a county championship. You made it to the regional finals. I imagine you set your goals pretty high for this season.
Right, yeah. We lost 4 seniors from last year that were very good, but the girls that are playing in their position this year are filling in, and they're doing great. So our standards are just as high as last year, if not higher, because I think we have a lot of experience on the court, and I think, everyone's dream is to go to state, but it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of time, effort, but we're definitely shooting high.
I understand this summer you played on a very good JO team over in Indiana. What was the name of that team, and what kind of things were you able to work on in your game?
I played for Muncie-Anna, and they helped me turn my game around and made me a different player. A big thing they helped me with is seeing the court and knowing that there's The court's wide. There's so many spots that you can choose from, and they help me see the court, and they help me become a more competitive player and really love the game.
This Thursday, Fort Laramie's got a big game hosting Russia. What kind of things do the Redskins have to do well to play well against Russia?
Well, Russia has a very well-rounded team. Their coaches have done a great job over there getting their program up and running. I mean, and they're very competitive just like us. So for either team to come out on top, it's going to take a lot of hard work, but we need to stay consistent on the court, and that's one of our biggest struggles so far this season is just staying consistent. And if we stay consistent, take care of what's on our side of the court, I think we can do well in that match.
All right, last question, Kelly. I know you're focused on your junior season right now, but once this high school career is over, any thoughts of playing volleyball in college?
Yes, I would love to play volleyball in college. I love the game, and it's my dream to play at a Division I school, get my education paid for, and continue my love for the game.
All right, well, that was a great interview there with Kelly Turner, Ken, and TK and I got a chance to also talk to the coach, John Rogers. You mentioned him before. I didn't get a chance to get that quote from him on there, but he did. I asked him what his expectations for Kelly were this year compared to last year, and he said he was expecting her to be more of a well-rounded, complete player, and so certainly his expectations for her this year are higher than they were last year. But anyway, it should be a good game. I'm going to try to slip over there tomorrow night and check some of that out, and like I said, you said it should be a good one, good barn burner. So, all right, well, TK, I want to go back to the sound room one more time. I forgot to ask you. You did say you were over at Jackson Center to watch the game the other night. Didn't get to ask you, did you get a chance to try the Big Cat? I know you're a big fan of that.
I am a fan of the Big Cat. I think I was actually introduced to the Big Cat by Ken several years ago. Unfortunately, Jackson Center does not serve up a Big Cat anymore. They're back to the old average loaded nachos, which aren't bad, but they are not a Big Cat. So a little disappointed in that, as well as disappointed in the outcome of that game at Jackson Center.
So what do you call the do you call it the small cat?
It's a little kitty or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
All right.
Well, you actually tweeted a picture of a Big Cat, I thought.
Well, that's historic photo there. I need to update that with the true loaded nachos, I guess.
Those are from days gone by, Craig.
I was last year on a basketball game there, and I tried to persuade him to get the Big Cat back, and it just didn't work. So I'm not sure why. Heck, we used to drive over to Jackson Center to watch Fairlawn play sometimes just to get a Big Cat.
Well, if they ever get the Big Cat back, I guess maybe we'll all make a trip over there for old time's sake and try it out. All right, Ken. Well, one more thing we want to hit tonight is a little football. We're going to probably hit some football as the weeks go on here and get more in depth with that. But just the MAC last week in week one had kind of an uncharacteristic week, didn't they?
Craig, I was very surprised. The MAC kind of took one on the chin last week, going 3-7. In non-league play, which is very unusual for them. But, don't be alarmed, MAC fans. You guys are still the greatest small school football league in the state of Ohio, and you guys will be there when the season's over. But, it was kind of surprising. But some big wins, for local teams over MAC squads like Covington. I mean, just a huge win over St. Henry. Fort Loramie with a big win over Minster. So it was interesting to see a little bit of turn of the tide there.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll try to get back on track here in week two. Some games of interest from those MAC teams. Anna goes to Brookville to play, Ken. And if you remember, Brookville's coached by Mike Hetrick, who's the son of a longtime Versailles coach, Al Hetrick. Sure, that'll be a good one. New Bremen travels to Fort Laramie. It's Fort Laramie's home opener. Also their second MAC game in 2 weeks. Versailles is at Valley View. Minster travels to Lehman. Marion Local hosts West Jefferson. And Coldwater travels to Columbus Bishop Hartley to play a game with a quarterback at Bishop Hartley that's probably familiar to some of our viewers out there, isn't he?
Yes, he is, Craig. And Bishop Hartley's quarterback is Jared Brandaway. Brandaway, obviously a Fort Laramie name there. He is the son of 1989 Fort Laramie graduate Tom Brandaway, who actually led the Redskins to a 1987 state championship. Jared is a 6'4" senior this year, and Craig, Tom can't deny that one, Kenny. He looks exactly like the dad.
Oh, he sure does. He's a little bit smaller there. Yeah, at 6'4". I think Tom played at 6'8" and maybe 220, so a little bit smaller, but boy, they look like each other, that's for sure.
Yeah, they do. So Coldwater fans going out there to that game, keep an eye on that Hartley quarterback, and like I said, he's got a lot of Fort Laramie ties to him.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for our football talk, and that's about going to do it for our show tonight, Ken. I want to get back to that trivia question. Why don't you ask me that again and give me my choices?
All right, Craig, here's the trivia question, and I have to laugh because I seen you did get a few Twitter helps, and you got 4 Twitter helps at least, and all 4 were different answers. So obviously it must be a good question. So which one of these former Ohio Star cross-country high school runners is the only one to win 3 consecutive state high school cross-country championships? I threw a kind of the wrinkle in there. I got 2 boys, 2 girls. All right, I got some D1, I got some D3. Is it Sam Prakel from Versailles, Zach Wills from Mason, Tammy Berger from Versailles, or Sonny Olding from Minster?
Those are 4 excellent choices, Ken. And my first response was Sonny Olding. I thought she won 3 state titles, but I want to say there was a break in there, maybe her sophomore or junior year, where she didn't win one. So that would eliminate the 3 consecutive titles. I had a Versailles person tell me Tammy Berger. I certainly would think a Versailles person would know what they were talking about if they mentioned another Versailles person. But I know that Zach Wills was a heck of a runner for Mason. I'm not positive on this one, but I'm going to go with him. I think he runs out west right now for somebody. I'm going to go with Zach Wills from Mason.
Well, Craig, in 2008, 2009, and 2010, Division I race from Mason, Zach Wills was the champion of those 3 consecutive races. So you are correct.
Oh, wow. Lucky guess. Good
start.
start.
That was a great guess. And let me give you a little history on Zach. He was a 3 consecutive championships, 08, 09, and 10. He now runs for Oklahoma State.
Okay.
All righty. You were right. Sonny Olding did win 3 state championships, but she did not win in her sophomore year.
Okay.
All righty. So just a lot of fun there and going back in time and looking at some great former Ohio runners. And these guys have all done extremely well at the Division I level, and wish them all the best of luck.
All right. Well, that's a good way for me to start the season 3, Ken.
Yep, you're 1 for 1.
All right. Well, let's take it back to the sound room one more time. I think Heavy D has a little bit of news before we close the show.
Yep, I've had a chance to watch Fort Loramie football grow from basically nothing to building a stadium, creating a solid team. I've had 2 nephews come through the program, and just want to put a plug in for them tonight. They do have their $10,000 ball drop this Friday against New Bremen. Bought a ticket today, so if I hit her, I may not be back next week. So if you want to get a ticket, go to anywhere in Fort Loramie, buy a ticket for $20, chance to win $10,000.
All right, that sounds like a good time. I've been to that ball drop before, and it certainly creates a lot of excitement. All right, that's going to do it for our show tonight. Special thanks to Kelly Turner for doing that interview with us, and all those cross-country runners for taking time on Saturday to talk to us. Ken and I and the crew will all be back again next week with another great show. Until then, though, everyone have a great rest of the week, and good night.
From Studio F in Russia, Ohio, for Ken Francis, Craig Fissinger, and TK, this is Heavy D, signing off saying good night and good fishing.